Welcome to my channel where we discuss everything and all things politics, especially about the 2023 presidential election held in Nigeria on February 25, 2023. And real quickly, there is a good news from the United States. And this good news is first to Atiku Abubakar. It's good news to him. It's also good news to all Nigerians, especially those who believe that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu ab initio ought not to have emerged the president of the country if the right thing was done, and that INEC ought not to have declared him the winner of the election. Now, the good news from the United States of America is that the United States Court, sitting in Chicago, has ordered the Chicago State University, for which which Tinubu claimed he attended, to release Bola Ahmed Tinubu's records to Atiku Abubakar within 2 days and certify authenticity under oath. We'll get to know the importance of this as we go on. Now, as I said, what happened in the court in the United States is a big news for those who believe that APC ought not to have remained in power after how they messed up the country in the past 8 years. Now, Atiku Abubakar, as I said, he has landed a major victory. And it's not him alone. All those who wanted APC out of power, they have landed a major victory in the United States as part of the ongoing push to demonstrate that Bola Ahmed Tinubu's ineligibility to be president of Nigeria. Now, a federal court in Chicago ruled on Tuesday night that Chicago State University must turn over all records relating to Tinubu to Atiku within 2 days, saying the former vice president has been able to sufficiently satisfy the purpose for seeking the records. Judge Jeffrey Gilbert also ordered a deposition of designated Chicago State University officials within 2 days after the records have been released, noting further that the process can be conducted even during the weekends, if possible. This Judge Gilbert is a man of honor. It's a man who wanted to see that the right thing was done. He's a man who wanted to see that Atiku Abubakar had access to these documents so that he could use it to prove his case with the Supreme Court of Nigeria. Now, continue. I'm quoting the judge now. He said, for all of the reasons discussed above, Atiku Abubakar's application pursuant to 228 U.S.C. and 1782 for an order directing discovery from Chicago State University for use in a case of foreign proceeding, EFC number 1, is granted. That's Judge Gilbert's ruling. He said that the application, he said, for all of the reasons discussed above, Atiku Abubakar's application pursuant to 28 U.S.C. and 1782 for an order directing discovery from Chicago State University for use in a foreign proceeding, ECF number 1 is granted. That is the judge formally, in his judgment, granting the application of Atiku Abubakar. Now, going further, this is what Judge Gilbert also said. He said, respondent, that's the Chicago State University, shall produce. This is not a question. They have no choice. In law, when they say shall, it's a must. That's not like a may. Said the respondent, Chicago State University, shall produce all relevant documents in response to requests for production numbers 1 through 4 as narrowed by the court in applicant subpoena within 2 days of the entry of this memorandum opinion and order. The deposition of the respondent's corporate designee shall proceed within 2 days of the production of documents. Going further, the judge said that the parties can modify the date set by the court by mutual agreement. And he noted that given the tight time frame under which the parties are operating, the deposition can, if necessary, occur on a non-weekday. What he was saying that time is tight. Of course, you and I know that time is tight. It's in terms of getting these things out so that the Supreme Court can have access. It can be given to the Supreme Court of Nigeria that they can work on weekends to facilitate all the documents, the depositions, and everything else. Now, this order is coming hours after the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, and the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, had filed their own appeal against the petition that was that filed appeal against the ruling of the September 6th judgment of the Presidential Election Petition Court. So it is important to know what is happening here. Now, how is this still important? How is this an important event? It is an important event because Section 137 of the 1999 Constitution, Section 137, 1J of the Nigerian Constitution specifically stated that no one will be legitimately elected president of Nigeria if the person has presented forged document, forged certificate to the Independent National Electoral Commission. Let me read it again. Section 137, 1J of the 1999 Constitution specifically stated that no one will be legitimately elected president of Nigeria if the person has produced a forged certificate or has presented a forged certificate to the Independent National Electoral Commission. Now, on June 17, 2022, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as the presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, submitted a certificate, Chicago State University certificate, to the Independent National Electoral Commission that was purportedly issued in 1979 and signed by Elnora Daniel. However, and strangely, Ms. Daniel only arrived at Chicago State University in 1998 from Hampton University. That's 19 years after Tinubu was said to have graduated. She left the university in 2008 following a financial mismanagement scandal, or 14 years before June 2022, when Chicago State University issued yet a fresh certificate in Tinubu's name under subpoena from a Nigerian lawyer who had inquired about Tinubu's education there. Now, the irregularities in the certificate that Tinubu submitted to INEC made Atiku Abubakar the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party to file a suit in the United States to compel the Chicago State University to produce records relating to Tinubu and make its top officials available for deposition to certify the produced records according to the People's Democratic Party's presidential candidate. Now, what Atiku demanded was that they should make the record available, and then the Chicago State University will certify that the certificate that Tinubu presented came from them. Now, You know that during the hearing on this matter on September 12th, the Chicago State University lawyer, Michael Hayes, said that the school could not authenticate Tinubu's certificate if asked under oath. Although he said that Tinubu attended the school and graduated in 1979, he said the university authority will not certify and authenticate Tinubu's certificate under oath. And now this Judge Gilbert said they must authenticate that certificate under oath. They must determine whether that certificate is real or not. What it means is this: since Michael Hayes, who is the lawyer of Chicago State University, has said it, it means that Chicago State University will supply all the materials that Atiku Abubakar is looking for to prove his case that the certificate that Tinubu submitted to the Independent National Electoral Commission was fake, was forged. Now, they will also authenticate whether the certificate is real. Now, they have already said it in the court proceeding that they will not authenticate it. In other words, Atiku is returning back to Nigeria with a signed document by the Chicago State University rejecting the certificate that Tinubu submitted to INEC, that it doesn't emanate from them. They don't know where it came from. Now, what does that mean? It means that the Supreme Court have to look at Section 137, which is very clear, written in clear, simple English. What will happen to anybody who presented forged certificate to the Independent National Electoral Commission and do the needful, just as they did in Bayelsa State when the deputy governor-elect of Bayelsa State was found to have a certificate that was forged. The Supreme Court invoked Section 137 1J, and that election, that mandate was aborted on the eve of their inauguration. That is what is expected. There is no other way to regular about it, because already Tinubu has not denied the fact that there are inconsistencies in the certificate. But what they is saying that he is blaming an unnamed clerk for it. Already that clerk had been denied by the university, that she left the university a long time ago. So she couldn't have been the one that made the mistake. So who is going to be held accountable? It is the possessor of the certificate. So Nigerians will be waiting and to see that this does not become another case like what happened in the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal ruling, where the courts said that it was Tinubu's bank account that was indicted and not Tinubu himself, that they will not come up with a technicality to explain away what has happened. Because from all indication, from the proceedings of the court that we have seen, from the words of Michael Hayes, the lawyer of the Chicago State University, the university said they don't know where the certificate came from. So who issued it to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Who issued it to him? And he submitted it to INEC. But that is not even the issue. The issue is, what is in INEC? Is it real or fake? The university that is the issuing authority say they cannot authenticate what is there in INEC. What was given to INEC? What does that tell you? That tells you that the university is going to sign a deposition that the certificate that is with INEC from Tinubu is not from them. Therefore, it is forged. That is what it means. No other interpretation you can give it that will seem appropriate than that. Because an issuing authority, a university is an issuing authority of certificate. When they deny a certificate that it did not emanate from them, common sense tells you that that certificate came from somewhere different from it. And if it came from somewhere different from from its original source, it means it is fake. If it is not Panadol, it's not Panadol, as they used to say in one advert. That is it. It didn't come from them. So this is a very big win for Atiku Abubakar. It's a very big win for those who believe that APC ought not to have been re-elected after messing up the country for the past 8 years. Now, what is the implication of this court judgment that Atiku Abubakar is bringing back from United States? One of the implications is this: if the Supreme Court agrees that indeed the certificate that Tinubu submitted to the INEC is fake, since the Chicago State University has denied it, it means that Tinubu's presidency will be annulled. What then is left for the country? It means that there will be a rerun. There is likely to be a rerun election between Peter Obi of the Labour Party and Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party. There will be a rerun, because if Tinubu is sacked as a result of a forged certificate, he cannot participate in a rerun. It means that the election will be nullified. And when this election is nullified, the only option left for the Supreme Court will be to order fresh rerun election between Labour Party and People's Democratic Party. That's the way I'm seeing it. That's the way I'm looking at it. There will be a rerun election, obviously, because since this Supreme Court, looking at the ruling by the Presidential Election Petition Court, I don't know what else the Supreme Court can be able to do. Whether they can be able to declare Peter Obi as the winner of the election outrightly. If they are able to agree with Peter Obi that he indeed won the election based on the argument he presented, how he won Rivers State, it was taken away from him, how he won Benue State was taken away from him, and all other parameters. If the Supreme Court didn't declare Peter Obi the winner of the election, then there will be a rerun between Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar. Tinubu will be out of it. APC will be out of it. Because when you are sacked as a result of forged documents, you are completely out of the picture. You cannot participate in the rerun election. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you will be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.